Again, Stephanie White has made comments on the fact that she did not back her own players after the DiJonai Carrington clothesline from hell incident the other day, in which she came out and said, oh, DiJonai's she's not a dirty player. She just plays real hard. Blah, 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 blah. I mean, look, she turns into the Charlie Brown teacher pretty quickly with a lot of people. At least with me, she does. The moment I realize she's going to do it again and not back her own player, yeah, I'm out. I got to tell you, one of the most obvious traits of a terrible leader, not taking any responsibility for your actions.
What if the biggest problem surrounding the Indiana Fever right now isn't happening on the court, but in the way the team is being led? Stephanie White is facing serious criticism, and this time the controversy is reaching directly into the Sophie Cunningham fanbase. Fans are questioning decisions, leadership, and the way certain situations are being handled. And when passionate supporters start feeling like their favorite player isn't being treated fairly, they don't stay silent. But here's the bigger question. Are the fans crossing the line? Or are they simply demanding accountability from the person in charge? And with DiJonai Carrington also being dragged into the conversation, emotions are getting even hotter. Social media reactions have become brutal, with some critics throwing extremely harsh words into the debate. But before we decide who's right or wrong, we need to separate the actual basketball issues from the noise. Because this isn't just about one player. It's about leadership, communication, accountability, and what happens when a massive fan base loses confidence in a coach.
And in a business that requires people to consume and be a customer, one of the other worst things you can do as an organization, in this case as a league and as a team, Indiana Fever, is blame your fans. The fans are the problem. Now, she's already, when she defended Alyssa Thomas, she told 65% of the fandom, go look up election numbers. Oh, yeah, I said it. She told 65% of the fans to get out. We don't want you as fans. And I won't lie to you. If I was not covering this league now in part for a living, I cover a lot of different sports, but this has become a job. If it was not for that, they would have gotten not a single solitary extra minute out of me at all. But then I got to thinking, oh, well, if I rub Stephanie White this wrong, if the new fans rub her this wrong, oh, you're not getting me out of this for nothing. You're not getting me out of this for nothing. I'm at the point I will watch to spite you, Stephanie White. And the fact that she takes zero responsibility and does people are trying to divide us. Divide our locker room. When you don't have your team's back, you are dividing your locker room.
Sophie Cunningham has developed a passionate group of supporters, and they're not afraid to defend her. Whenever fans believe their favorite player isn't getting the opportunities or treatment they deserve, the reaction can become immediate. That's exactly what we're seeing here. Critics are questioning Stephanie White's decisions and asking whether the coaching staff is getting the most out of its players. But there's another side to this. A professional coach sees things that fans don't see. Rotations, matchups, defensive assignments, player development. There are dozens of factors involved in every decision. So not every decision that fans dislike is automatically a bad decision. However, that doesn't mean coaches should be immune from criticism. If thousands of fans are asking the same questions, leadership has to be willing to explain the reasoning. And that's where this controversy becomes much bigger than Sophie Cunningham.
She could be one of the worst leaders I have ever seen in sports. And I cover a lot of different sports. Here we go.
Yeah, I mean, look, we're not going to ever minimize it. Nothing that any one of us does is ever going to be, we're going to please everyone all the time. I hope that the biggest thing that we learn is how to be responsive instead of reactive. In certain situations, I think it's really easy, and especially for young people or for those who aren't in it every day, to react to everything that happens. It's also dangerous, to react to everything that happens. But I think just from a humanistic perspective and life lesson perspective, I think our group does a really good job of responding. I think our group does a really good job of pouring into one another, of keeping the main thing, of understanding that there are a lot of folks out there who want to divide us, that there are a lot of folks out there who want to create more challenges for us. And in our locker room, we do a really good job of keeping that outside the locker room and pulling for one another. I mean, you guys see it. The vibes are always pretty good in here. I'm proud of them for that. And I think, outside of even just the sport and outside of the job, it serves great life lessons for us as well. Yeah, I mean, look.
This person.
Then comes DiJonai Carrington. Her name has become part of the broader conversation, and social media has once again turned a basketball disagreement into something much more personal. But let's slow this down. Online comments are not automatically facts. When people use words like dumb or make personal accusations, that doesn't necessarily mean those statements came directly from the player involved. That's an important distinction. The real issue is why the conversation has become so heated in the first place. Fans want accountability. Coaches want authority. Players want respect. And social media wants drama. Put all four together, and you have the perfect recipe for a WNBA controversy. The challenge now is keeping the discussion about basketball instead of allowing it to become a personal war between fan bases.
Is absolutely unbelievable. And by the way, we'll get to DiJonai Carrington in a minute. Acting like she is smarter than everybody else. Oh, this league's got a lot of problems. It is everybody else's fault. Right here, I posted this just a few minutes ago. Everybody else is the problem. Not me, not me. Everybody else. Zero responsibility as a leader. Once again, blame the fans. That's great for your league that's never turned a profit. It's your fault. It's your fault. Ben Daniel, it's your fault. Venom, it's your fault. Dan Dockage, it's your fault. Jason Whitlock, it's your fault. Dan Patrick, looking at you, guess what? Your fault. It's everybody else's fault that's not afraid to say the truth out loud. We saw the reaction of your players in real time. They looked miserable. Everybody else is trying to divide our locker room. No, not having your players back will do quite the adequate job at doing that. Nobody covering the league is going to cause a division in your locker room. You're doing a great job of that on your own, Stephanie White. The Indiana Pacers are better than me. I probably would have let her go after... No, let me rephrase. I know I would have let her go when she drowned the new fans that were watching just a few weeks ago. I don't care if you're Phil Jackson, Pat Riley, and Greg Popovich reborn with a sprinkle of Red Auerbach. If you're going to trash my customer, you're going to be in the unemployment line.
Stephanie White isn't going to make everyone happy. No professional coach does. But when a team has enormous expectations, every decision becomes a test of leadership. Fans want to see clear rotations. They want smart adjustments. They want players to be used effectively. And when the results don't match expectations, the coach naturally becomes the first person questioned. That's not necessarily unfair. That's professional sports. But there's also a line. Criticizing a coaching decision is completely different from attacking someone's character. Fans can say, I disagree with this rotation. They can say, I think Sophie Cunningham should be used differently. They can question strategy. But once criticism becomes personal abuse, the conversation loses its value. The same applies to the coaching side. If fans are frustrated, dismissing them completely isn't going to make the problem disappear. Sometimes the strongest leadership is simply explaining why a difficult decision was made.
Facts. Her basketball skill as a coach becomes secondary to me at that point because I'm worried about my business. Plain and simple. My boy Johnny Root of Outkick, what's up, Johnny? Shared this. DiJonai Carrington trying to school all of you as if her left-wing education makes her somehow smarter. There's a certain thing called common sense. I'm not impressed by her Stanford education. I don't know about you guys. I would have never dreamed she went to Stanford, as ghetto and thuggy as she acts. But left-wing universities, they sort of condone that kind of thing now, don't they? This is why, no disrespect to anybody that's got one of these degrees, but she's probably got some social degree, yada, yada, yada. You know, I wouldn't wipe my ass with it. Too coarse. I've never once claimed that the assessment of the foul was white privilege. That was your assumption. That's y'all's fault. Once again, another one of these types, Stephanie White, DiJonai Carrington. No wonder Stephanie White loves DiJonai Carrington.
And this controversy reveals something much bigger about the WNBA right now. The league has never had this level of attention. Every game is being watched. Every controversial moment is clipped. Every player has passionate supporters. And every disagreement can explode across social media within minutes. That creates incredible visibility for the league. But it also creates incredible pressure. One comment can become a headline. One fan reaction can represent an entire fan base, even when thousands of other fans disagree. And suddenly, we're no longer discussing basketball. We're discussing personalities. We're discussing motives. We're discussing who supposedly hates who. That's dangerous, because the WNBA doesn't need every disagreement to become a feud. The league needs strong competition, strong personalities, and strong opinions, but those things can exist without turning every issue into a personal attack. And that's exactly why this Stephanie White and Sophie Cunningham situation deserves a closer look.
It's everybody else's fault. Try exercising your critical thinking skills. I know you studied psych. Furthermore, I'm the last thing from ignorant or asinine when it comes to speaking on, quote, white privilege. Do ya research on that one? I actually went to school, one of the top universities, I might add, to educate myself on this exact subject. I would never use that term as a rhetorical weapon, knowing the historical and social weight it holds, without having the proper evidence to substantiate it. Guys, I was an operations manager in the corporate world for years. I'm not sure I'd hired her to clean the bathrooms. I'd be afraid she'd get shitty with somebody, or get mad and beat the shit out of a client that's in the building, or one of the agents, or one of the team managers, or hell, maybe the site director. You can't trust somebody like that. But I'm smarter than you in my culturally stolen wig. Yeah, you look like fucking Einstein. I mean, seriously, you look like Einstein. Woo!
So where does this leave us? Is Stephanie White really failing as a leader? Are Sophie Cunningham's fans going too far? Or are they simply doing what passionate sports fans have always done, defending the player they believe in? And what role does DiJonai Carrington actually have in this story? Those are the questions that remain. But one thing is undeniable. The pressure isn't going away. Every upcoming game will provide another test. If the decisions start producing results, the criticism will probably get quieter. But if the problems continue, expect these questions to become even louder. Because fans aren't just watching the scoreboard anymore. They're watching rotations. They're watching coaching decisions. They're watching how players are treated. And they're watching how leadership responds when things go wrong. That's what makes this situation so interesting. The WNBA has become bigger, louder, and more competitive. And with that attention comes a massive spotlight on everyone involved. So now I want to hear from you. Do you think Stephanie White deserves the criticism she's receiving? Or are fans taking this controversy too far? And what do you think about the Sophie Cunningham and DiJonai Carrington angle? Drop your opinion in the comments, because this conversation is clearly not over yet.